Hello everyone, welcome back to another video on my channel. Today's video is on the box function or the greatest integer function. So let us now get started. So here we have this function y equals to box 6. Now this box 6 is the greatest integer function or also known as the floor function. So this floor function can also be denoted by this symbol here, that is the floor. Now let us understand how this function works. So suppose x lies in the interval 0 to 1 where 0 is closed. Okay. So for that the value will be 0, an integer. So for this part the greatest integer, so for if x lies in this part, there are many integers though that are less than x, like -2, -1, 0, but among this 0 is the highest integer. So this function is called the greatest integer function. Similarly, if x lies in 1 to 2, then there are many integers like -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, but among them 1 is the greatest integer. So it is called the greatest integer function again. So for when x lies in the interval closed 1 to open 2, then the value will be 1. In a similar manner, for close 2 and open 3, the value will be 2, another integer. And for similarly, for any natural number like n closed and n plus 1 open, we will have the value of this greatest integer function as n. Now let us move to the negative side of the x-axis. So for that, if x lies in the interval -1 to 0, so there are many integers which are less than this, like -3, -2, -1, and among them -1 is the greatest. So this value will be -1. So similarly, for minus for -2 to 1, where -2 is closed and 1 is open, we will have the value -2. Similarly, for this interval, we will have the -3 value. Similarly, for any natural number n, we have -n as an integer and -n plus 1 is another integer which is greater than -n. So this value will be -n. Okay. Now we can see here that this is a piecewise function. So for different values of x, we will have different outputs. So what we need to do, we need to plot 0, y equals to 0 between close 0 to open 1. We need to plot y equals to 1 for the interval -1 to open 2 and so on. So we need to plot these kind of function y equals to 0, y equals to 1, y equals to 2 and so on. So let us now see how these functions work. So we need to understand the graph of the function y equals to k, where k is any integer. So k must be any integer. So k must belong to z. So for any k like this, we will have, so for the graph y equals to k, we will have a straight line which is parallel to x-axis. So here we have y equals to k which is parallel to this x-axis. Okay. And this straight line must be k unit in the positive direction of x-axis. Similarly, for minus k, if k is positive, then for like minus k, we will have something like this. So this will be y equals to minus k. Now, let us first draw all these straight lines, all these y equals to 0, y equals to 1, y equals to 2 over the whole real line. So, if we draw like this, we will have this kind of structure. So this is y equals to 0, y equals to 1, y equals to 2, 3, 4. Similarly, y equals to -1, -2, -3, -4. Okay. Now we need to take some intervals. So suppose this is 1. Okay, so let me write it down. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, and this will be -1, -2, -3, -4, and so on. So from the, and this one is 0. So let us see, this is y equals to 0, and from this function property, from the property of this function box 6, what we will have? We will have 0, y equals to 0 in the interval close 0 to open 1. So this interval, this is 0 to 1. So between this close 0 to open 1, we must have y equals to 0. That means close 0 and open 1. Similarly, let us see where y equals to 1 occurs. So here we can see that y equals to 1 occurs in the interval closed 1 to open 2. Similarly, y equals to 2 occurs in closed 2 to open 3. Now let us draw those two. So this y equals to 1 occur between these two, close 1 to open 2. So let me draw it. So this is y equals to 1 between 1 to 2, where 1 is closed and 2 is open. In a similar manner, y equals to 2 occurs for 2 to 3, where 2 is closed and 3 is open. In a similar manner, we can do the others. So for 3 occurs between 3 to 4, where 3 is closed, 4 is open, and similarly for this is closed, this is open. So we are getting a step-like structure. Similarly, let us see what the minus side holds. So here we will have, so let me show you first. So -1 occurs in between -1 to 0. -2 occurs between -2 to -1. And there is the closed left hand side. So -1, which is this on, occurs between -1 to 0. So we have this, where this one is closed, the left hand side is always closed for the box 6 function, and this side is open. Similarly, -2 occurs for, so this -2 occurs for this interval. So this is -2, this occurs for this interval. So we will have this, where -2 is closed and -1 is open. Similarly, here -3 is closed, -2 is open for -3. And similarly, for y equals to -4, -4 is closed, -3 is open. So here we are getting this kind of structure, this kind of step-like structure. So let me show you the final graph. So this one here is the final graph of the y equals to box 6. Also, this is known as the floor function, y floor, because for the interval 0 to 1, we are getting this value. Okay. If it is a ceiling function, then for interval like this, we would get this value. Okay. So this is the graph of the y equals to box 6 function, or the greatest integer function. Now let us understand its properties. So obviously it is a piecewise function. It is obvious from the definition of the function. Next is domain is R. So we can put any value in the input, but the range is this Z, that is the set of integers. So it is evident from the graph that we are getting only integer values. Also we can see it from this table, this one. So here we are getting all the integer values starting from some very small integers in the minus side to very large integers to the positive side. Okay. So let us now see the next property. This one. Limit x tends to n, box 6 do not exist for n belongs to z. Okay. So let me show it. Suppose we are trying to get, so it says that the limit doesn't exist at the integer points. So suppose we are trying to get limit n plus box x. Okay. So n plus means the x lies in the interval this, right? So here we will have, as it is n plus, we will have the value n, as n is the integer. So we will have the value n. But if we try to find out this n minus, so when x tends to n minus, it means x lies to the left side of n. So here x must lie in this interval. Okay. So here we will get the value n minus 1. And as these two are not equal, then so limit x tends to n, box 6 don't exist where n belongs to z. Okay. So for all the other values, like for all the other integer, non-integer values like this, let me show here. So here there are breaks at the integer points, right? There is a break at 1, break at 2 integer points. In between those integer points, like when we consider the open 0 to open 1, in that case the value is simply 0. So that there is the constant value, so limit must exist. Similarly for the open case, we have 1 to 2. So there is a constant value. So limit must exist. Similarly for 2 to 3, there is a constant value. So limit exists all throughout 2 to 3. Okay. So limit must exist for any other value other than integer values. Let us now see the next property, which is again it is continuous in the interval r, in the set r minus z. So it is again obvious. So here for n belongs to, for n belongs to z, limit doesn't exist, and as the limit doesn't exist, it is not continuous. We can directly say. But for the other values, for the non-integer parts, like in the 0, 1, we will have the constant value. That is, whatever the value will be, that will be the constant value. Like for this, we will have the value box x equals to 0. This is a constant. So obviously it will be a continuous function in that interval. Similarly for 1 to 2, box x will have the value 1. So it will be again a constant function, that means continuous function. So if we try to generalize it, so for, I am denoting I by an integer by an I. So for this, where I belongs to z, box 6 must be I, and as I is a constant, so that means the function is constant is continuous in the interval in the set r minus z. Similarly, it is differentiable in r minus z. So again we can say that as it is not continuous in for n belongs to z, it is not continuous, that implies not differentiable. If a function is not continuous, it is not differentiable. And we will have this value. So again, for any integer like thing, like for any integer, so let me denote n by an integer, n plus 1, what we will have, box x equals to n, constant, and constant means differentiable, and moreover the derivative must be 0 in those interval. As it is constant, the derivative must always be 0. Next, it is an increasing function but not strictly. So we can see here that for like we can prove it by intuition. So for 0 to 1, box x will have the value 0. For 1 to 2, box x will have the value 1. So the values are increasing. Values are increasing gradually. And if we go to the 0 part, there are negative values. Again, there is also the values are increasing. So it must be increasing, but it is not strictly increasing. Why not? Because if we try to take a value like 0.5, there we will get 0. Again, if we try to take a value like 0.25, there also we will get 0. So those are giving equal values. So it is not strictly increasing. So it must satisfy the condition that if x1 less than x2, that implies f of x1 lesser or equals to f of x2. And this property is holding, therefore this function, this box x function is an increasing function, but it is not strictly increasing. All these properties can be clarified from this graph. So again, we can see here that there are breaks in the integer parts. So these are the integers. This is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4. So there are gaps in the integer parts. So we can't plot it continuously. So there is no continuity, no differentiability at the integer points, but at the other points, all those values in between the integer parts, those are constant. Therefore this is continuous, this is differentiable, and limit also exists obviously. And also it is obvious from this graph that this function is increasing. So it is increasing gradually, but it is not strictly increasing, as here we are getting same values, here we are getting another same values. Okay. So in the next video, I'll be discussing about the ceiling function, which is somewhat similar to this function. So please understand this video and then go to my video on the ceiling function. Thank you for watching this video. Please like and comment on this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel.